Tonight my theme is, are you thirsty? Now, how much do you think of water when you're not thirsty? Not very much, isn't it? Maybe for some health-conscious people, they think of water regularly. But how much do you think of water when you're thirsty? A lot. You can't help it, right? And the thirstier you feel, the more water dominates your thoughts. I remember when I was in my uni days, we went for hiking, 6 to 7 hours in Taman Negara. And the water that I brought finished already and halfway only. And so every step from then on, I crave for water, and I'll be looking around to see if there's someone selling drinking water. And the thirstier you are, you desire less of other liquids. You just want the one thing that will most quench your thirst. It's water, right? Water is really experienced as most satisfying when our real need for it makes us really want it. Likewise, church, God is only experienced as most satisfying when our real need for Him makes us really want Him. King David, everyone knows King David, huh? In his hiding from Absalom, his son, right, who wants to kill him, ran to the desert of Judah and wrote this. Right, King David wrote this Psalm 63, right? Come, let's read all together. You, God, are my God. Earnestly I seek you. I thirst for you. My whole being longs for you. In a dry and parched land where there is no water. So imagine David, running for his life, end up in a desert, craving, thirsty for God. Here David pours out his craving for God. What made David so earnest in his search for God, his thirst for God? And what made him so thirsty? There was no water. His experienced lack of God. Sometimes in life, God allows us to go through dry, barren, oppressive seasons. Our experienced lack of what we really need makes us really desire what we really need. This is the blessedness of the barren places. Some of us have gone through those seasons of wilderness. And remember how you craved for God in desperation in those seasons? When life becomes heavy with discouragement, maybe we are simply experiencing the consequences of neglecting Him. If we are not craving for His presence today, this could very well be an indicator of just how far we have drifted away from Him. On the flip side, does God crave for us? Yes, He does. Let's look at some scriptures. There are many, many, many scriptures, right, saying that God craves for us, but I just take 2 verses. Isaiah 30:18 says, "The Lord waits for you to come to Him so He can show you His love and compassion, for the Lord is a faithful God." Psalms 53 verse 2 says, "For God looks down from heaven on the sons of men to see if there are any who understand, any who seek God." Do you see why God brought the Israelites into the wilderness? To bring them to Himself. Why do you suppose that God brings you to Himself? In a nutshell, Christ is saying that the spiritual life is like an endless buffet. Right? Everyone go for a buffet before, right? The spiritual life is like that, like an endless buffet. But the question for all of us is, do we really have a passion and craving to be filled with Him? And so, church, tonight, I want to encourage you with this. Tonight, very short and sweet, huh? Matthew says, "Blessed are those who hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled." So tonight, church, as you've heard, let's just reflect. We are very precious to God's eyes. But is God the apple of your eye? Shall we stand?